What if I told you WNBA players might only receive around $2 out of every $100 generated from league revenue? Yeah. And now one WNBA star is publicly calling it out. Sophie Cunningham just dropped a blunt statement about the league's negotiations, and it's raising serious questions about the future of the WNBA. And with a March 10th deadline approaching, things are getting tense, because right now, the WNBA and its players are negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement, also known as the CBA, and if they don't reach an agreement soon, it could impact the 2026 WNBA season. But here's where things get controversial. Players say the league is avoiding the biggest issue: revenue sharing. Sophie Cunningham's statement. Recently, Sophie Cunningham spoke openly about the negotiations, and she didn't hold back. According to Cunningham, the current proposals from the league focus mainly on small salary cap increases, but that's not what players are actually asking for. Instead, players want something much bigger: a fair share of the league's revenue. Because right now, many believe the system doesn't reflect the growing popularity of women's basketball, and this is where the comparison gets interesting. In the National Basketball Association, players receive roughly 50% of basketball-related income. That revenue-sharing model has been in place for years, but the Women's National Basketball Association works very differently. Players argue that the percentage they receive is far lower, which is why many stars believe the next CBA needs to change that structure. And Sophie Cunningham isn't the only one speaking up. Some of the league's biggest names are getting involved, including two WNBA superstars, Breanna Stewart and Kelsey Plum. The two players reportedly wrote a 3-page letter to union leadership, and the message was clear. Players want more involvement in the negotiation process. According to reports, the letter raised concerns about a lack of transparency during the mediation process. In other words, some players feel they're not fully included in decisions that could affect their careers. And that's a big deal, because this CBA could shape the league for years to come. What makes this situation even more interesting is the timing. The WNBA is experiencing one of the biggest growth periods in its history: record viewership, massive social media attention, and a wave of new fans entering the sport. Players believe that growth should be reflected in the financial structure of the league. But according to Sophie Cunningham, the league's current proposal focuses mostly on incremental salary cap increases. For players, that's not enough, because raising the salary cap without addressing revenue sharing doesn't fundamentally change how money is distributed. And that's the core of the debate. Now here's the big question everyone is asking: could this lead to a player strike? According to reports, players acknowledge that a strike would be damaging for the league, but they also believe that meaningful changes are necessary, so the pressure is building as the deadline approaches. If the league and the players reach an agreement before March 10th, the WNBA can move forward smoothly into the next era. But if negotiations stall, this could become one of the biggest labor disputes in WNBA history, and fans across the basketball world will be watching closely. So what do you think? Should WNBA players receive a bigger share of league revenue? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more breaking basketball news.